All right, we are getting some breaking news right now. ABC News has just confirmed that Sean Diddy Combs was arrested tonight in New York City. Sources say federal agents with Homeland Security investigations took him into custody. The charges are unclear at this time. Combs' attorney telling CNN that we are disappointed with the decision to pursue what we believe is an unjust prosecution of Mr. Combs by the U.S. Attorney's Office. We, of course, are trying to gather more information. There's a lot more to come out of this story, and as soon as we get it, we'll turn it over to you.
Justin, a second judge has denied bail to Sean Diddy Combs.
So the judge cited the possibility that Combs could tamper with witnesses as he faces sex trafficking and racketeering charges.
They knew that was going to happen. You understand? There's no way, based on the evidence that the prosecutor presented, that the judge was going to allow him to be bonded out on the first get-go. Now,
Katt Williams has never been one to bite his tongue, and his latest message is sending shockwaves through the industry. Known for his unapologetic takes and fearless attitude, the comedian turned heads once again with a bold and chilling warning aimed at none other than Beyoncé. After the recent arrest of Sean Diddy Combs, Williams hinted that the Queen herself could be next in line for trouble. In his usual fiery style, he didn't just make it about Diddy's downfall. He implied that this might be just the beginning for others in the entertainment world. While some might dismiss it as another one of Katt's headline-grabbing moments, there's no denying the weight of his words, especially given the high-profile nature of the people involved. Williams made it clear he believes Diddy had it coming for a long time, referencing years of alleged shady behavior that finally caught up with the music mogul. But the real shock came when he pivoted to Beyoncé, raising eyebrows and fueling speculation about what he might know, or at least suspect. This isn't just another Hollywood controversy, it's a potential unraveling of some of the most untouchable figures in pop culture. If Katt Williams' cryptic warning holds any truth, the ripple effects could be massive. Fans and insiders alike are left wondering what could possibly happen next. Before we head into what Katt had to say, let me give you all a quick rundown of what's going on with Diddy. Sean Diddy Combs had a rough Tuesday as he found himself behind bars awaiting trial for a federal trafficking case that's causing quite a stir. A judge decided that Diddy won't be getting bail, meaning he'll remain in custody as he faces some seriously troubling accusations.
Hip-hop star Sean Diddy Combs is back in a Manhattan federal courthouse today, fighting to be released on bail. His attorney writing in a letter to the court Wednesday that Combs is eminently trustworthy and should be released on a $50 million bond. The rapper offering to secure the bond with his $48 million Miami home, and the bond would be co-signed with his mother, sister, 3 adult sons, and mothers of his 2 daughters. Combs was arrested Monday, and sources tell ABC News he has not been incarcerated with the general prison population. A judge denied him bail Tuesday after expressing concern that Diddy's alleged crimes occurred behind closed doors, with law enforcement unable to monitor his behavior.
The music mogul, who's been a larger-than-life figure in the industry for years, is now facing charges that could change everything. He's pleaded not guilty to both racketeering conspiracy and sex trafficking. The allegations paint a disturbing picture. He's accused of orchestrating a sordid empire where female victims and male allegedly drugged and forced into prolonged performances known as freak-offs. The indictment even alludes to an assault on his former girlfriend, R&B singer Cassie, which was reportedly captured on video, adding another layer of intrigue to the case. And what's worse is that his lawyer has been saying the worst kind of stuff too.
And so when you talk about that video of Cassie Ventura, that was his then girlfriend, in the video, I mean, just when you saw that, you said it's a bad video. It's pretty difficult to watch.
It is, no question. So let me tell you what
Will
happened.
that be used as evidence in court, do you think?
100%, 100%. So what I said in court today, and I'll say it again here, is the 2 of them were in a hotel. It was just the 2 of them in a hotel room. She found out that he was seeing someone else. She was going through his phone. She hit him in the head with his own phone. And then she walks into the hallway with 2 bags. One of the bags has all of his clothing that she is taking from him, which is why he runs out in a towel. So this isn't her fleeing from one of these freak-offs. Why would she take his clothing? That's not what it is. And when the evidence comes out, this is going to be completely different than the government's portrayed it.
But on this video, and I just want to show that again now, how do you defend against allegations that he hit, kicked, and dragged women when he's on video hitting, kicking, and dragging a woman?
Sure, he's not charged with hitting, kicking, and dragging. He's charged with sex, and he didn't traffic anybody.
But he's charged with a conspiracy here where he was using physical abuse, emotional abuse, financial pressure, as prosecutors allege, to keep these women in his fold. Maybe just Cassie Ventura, but keeping these women in the fold.
Cassie Ventura lived by herself. She had her own house. She had a family. She had a career. And he was seeing another woman at the time. He wasn't around a lot. She could have done whatever she wanted to do. All of these allegations of, I was forced, I was coerced, I had to stay, are nonsense. And this can be proven to be so.
I mean, can you believe this? How can he say all of that when he knows that we've seen the video? The legal drama escalated as prosecutors argued strongly for Diddy to be held in jail, emphasizing the severity of the charges and the potential flight risk if he were released. In contrast, his attorneys proposed a $50 million bond, suggesting he could be monitored from home with electronic tracking. They argued this would be a more reasonable option given his status and the fact that he's been a prominent figure with no prior issues of fleeing justice.
Someone's presumed innocent, so you're presumed that you get bail. Not in this kind of crime. In this kind of crime, bail is not presumed. Furthermore, you've got the problem that he's accused of intimidating witnesses, of trying to interfere with the investigation. None of that helps him in his argument that he should get bail.
But the U.S. Magistrate Judge Robin Tarnofsky wasn't swayed by the defense's arguments. She ruled in favor of the prosecution, deciding that Diddy should stay behind bars until the trial. This decision reflects the seriousness of the accusations and the ongoing concern about the case's potential impact. For now, the music mogul's future is in limbo, and the public is left waiting to see how this high-profile legal battle unfolds. He was escorted out of court on Tuesday, remarkably, without being handcuffed. This detail might seem minor, but it's part of a larger high-stakes drama surrounding the music mogul. The founder of Bad Boy Records is facing some heavy-duty accusations. He's been charged with striking, punching, and drugging women, along with throwing objects and kicking them. To make matters worse, the allegations suggest that he had his personal assistants, security, and household staff involved in covering up these actions, which paints a chilling picture of a calculated effort to hide the abuse. As the court proceedings unfolded, Combs stood up to declare his innocence, saying not guilty while his hands were folded in his lap. Despite his calm demeanor, federal prosecutors are painting him as a dangerous individual, further fueling the gravity of the situation. The case continues to draw attention, with many watching closely to see how it will all play out. Mr. Combs physically and SA victims for decades. He used the vast resources of his company to facilitate his abuse and cover up his crimes. Simply put, he is a serial abuser and a serial obstructor, Assistant U.S. Attorney Emily Johnson told a court. She also said he had extensive and exhaustive history of obstruction of justice, including alleged bribery and witness intimidation.
Between at least 2008 and the present, Combs abused, threatened, and coerced victims to fulfill his desires, protect his reputation, and conceal his conduct.
His lawyer, Mark Agnifilo, acknowledged Combs was not a perfect person. There has been drug use. He has been in toxic relationships, Agnifilo told the court. The lawyer said Combs was receiving treatment and therapy for things that he needs treatment and therapy for. Outside the courtroom, Sean Combs' lawyer, Andrew Agnifilo, was adamant about his client's innocence. He made it clear that he believes Diddy is not guilty of the charges and criticized the evidence presented in the case as deeply flawed and not reflective of the true situation. Agnifilo argued that the accusations stem from a long-term relationship that eventually faced issues like infidelity. While he didn't name her directly, the details he provided closely matched Diddy's decade-long involvement with Cassie, whose full name is Cassandra Ventura. According to Agnifilo, the so-called freak-offs were an extension of their relationship, rather than being about coercion or exploitation. In his court statements, Agnifilo emphasized that the nature of these encounters was consensual, asserting, "Is it trafficking? Not if everybody wants to be there." He argued that the charges are an intrusion into Diddy's personal life, suggesting that the legal system is overstepping by making a private dispute into a public matter. Agnifilo's defense strategy is to frame the allegations as a misunderstanding of a complex personal relationship that has been unfairly exaggerated by the authorities. His comments highlight the ongoing tension between how the defense views the situation and the serious accusations being made by the prosecution. This case continues to unfold with strong emotions and conflicting conflicting perspectives on what truly happened. Prosecutors, on the other hand, painted a very different picture in their court papers. They claimed to have interviewed over 50 victims and witnesses so far and expected that number to keep growing. They plan to use a wide range of evidence, including financial records, travel documents, billing records, electronic data, communications, and even videos of the so-called freak-offs to build their case. Throughout the court proceedings, Sean Combs was seen nodding occasionally as his lawyer spoke and sometimes leaned in to discuss matters with his legal team. Despite this, he maintained a mostly expressionless demeanor, staring straight ahead and appearing detached from the unfolding drama. Combs was taken into custody late Monday in Manhattan. This arrest came about 6 months after federal authorities conducted a high-profile raid on his luxury homes in Los Angeles and Miami as part of their trafficking investigation. The timing of the arrest and the scope of the evidence being gathered suggests a serious and ongoing legal battle ahead. If Sean Combs were found guilty on every charge laid out in the indictment, he could face a mandatory minimum of 15 years in prison, with the possibility of being sentenced to life behind bars. This reflects just how serious the charges against him are. The indictment presents a chilling narrative depicting Combs as the head of a criminal organization involved in an extensive array of illegal activities. The list of accusations is extensive and includes trafficking, forced labor, interstate transportation for prostitution, drug offenses, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and obstruction of justice. Each of these charges points to a different aspect of a larger alleged criminal operation. Prosecutors argue that Combs and his associates leveraged his significant power and prestige to manipulate and coerce women into his orbit. According to the indictment, this manipulation often occurred under the guise of romantic relationships, making the situation even more complex and troubling. The alleged use of charm and influence to lure women, paired with the gravity of the crimes listed, paints a picture of a calculated and potentially dangerous criminal enterprise. The severity of these charges reflects the high stakes and intense nature of the legal battle that lies ahead. The indictment details that Sean Combs allegedly used force, threats, and coercion to compel women into participating in the so-called freak-offs, highly produced and orchestrated performances. These events, which Combs reportedly arranged, directed, and often recorded, were not just casual affairs, but elaborate setups, resulting in dozens of videos. According to the indictment, Combs went to great lengths to ensure the women's participation. He arranged for them to be flown in, provided drugs to facilitate their involvement, and used his control over their careers and financial support to maintain their compliance. Intimidation and violence were reportedly part of his strategy to keep the women engaged in these performances.
About the women.
I haven't interviewed the woman. The woman's not available to me. She's presumably a grand jury witness, and we would not, we cannot try to interview a grand jury witness.
And you don't think that there are any other women who are going to say that they were coerced into this, given drugs, and essentially as prosecutors were saying that that's what kept them compliant?
So there are
in
a
these
lot
sessions.
of women in these civil cases. There's been a mountain of civil cases ever since the civil case that was filed in November. I don't see them as victims in the indictment. That's my point.
During the raids on Combs' homes earlier this year, law enforcement seized a range of evidence, including narcotics and videos of the freak-offs. The searches also uncovered firearms and ammunition, notably 3 AR-15 rifles with defaced serial numbers. 2 of these rifles, broken down into parts, were found in his bedroom closet in Miami. These findings add another layer of seriousness to the charges, highlighting the extent of the investigation and the evidence collected against Combs. Combs' lawyer has pushed back against the allegations involving the firearms, stating that his client did not personally own the guns found in his home. The lawyer highlighted that Combs employs a security company, suggesting that the weapons could belong to the security team rather than Combs himself. The indictment paints a grim picture of Combs' alleged behavior, describing him as a violent individual who used physical force against people. It details claims that he choked and shoved victims, hit and kicked them, and even dragged them by their hair, leading to injuries that reportedly took days or weeks to heal. According to the indictment, Combs' employees and associates were sometimes witnesses to this violence. They are said to have helped prevent victims from leaving or track down those who tried to escape, adding to the severity of the situation described in the charges. The indictment further alleges that Sean Combs took a disturbing approach to maintain control over his victims. It claims he kept videos of the women engaging in and used these recordings as collateral to ensure their obedience and silence. This alleged tactic was meant to coerce the women into staying compliant and not speaking out. Additionally, the indictment describes how Combs exerted control over the victims by offering and threatening to withdraw career opportunities and financial support. He allegedly had a hand in dictating their appearance, monitoring their health records, and controlling their living arrangements, creating an oppressive environment of control and intimidation. In a court filing, prosecutors have expanded on their case by alleging that Combs, along with an unidentified accomplice, was involved in a kidnapping at gunpoint just a few days before Christmas in 2011. This alleged kidnapping was purportedly intended to facilitate a break-in at another person's home. 2 weeks later, the indictment claims Combs orchestrated an arson attack by slicing open the convertible top of a vehicle and dropping a Molotov cocktail to set it on fire. These additional accusations underscore the broad scope of the alleged criminal activities and add another layer of seriousness to the case. According to prosecutors, all these alleged criminal activities were taking place behind the polished facade of Sean Combs' global music, lifestyle, and clothing empire. His high-profile public image and successful business ventures provided a stark contrast to the dark allegations against him. At a news conference on Tuesday, Manhattan-based U.S. Attorney Katt Williams highlighted the dramatic shift in Combs' public life. A year ago, Sean Combs stood in Times Square and was handed a key to New York City. Today, he's been indicted and will face justice, Williams said, emphasizing the contrast between Combs' former recognition and his current legal troubles. Interestingly, Combs had returned the ceremonial key to the city in June, following a request from Mayor Eric Adams. This symbolic gesture marked the end of a period when Combs was celebrated as one of the most influential figures in hip-hop. However, the flood of serious allegations that emerged over the past year has cast a shadow over his celebrated status, revealing a starkly different side to the public persona. As Sean Combs faced mounting legal trouble, the indictment claims that he and his associates resorted to desperate measures to keep witnesses and victims quiet. According to the allegations, they were not above offering bribes or spinning false stories to distract from the truth and prevent anyone from coming forward with damning information. In November, things took a dramatic turn when Cassie Ventura, who had been in a relationship with Combs for years, filed a lawsuit against him. She accused Combs of a pattern of severe abuse, claiming that he had beaten her over an extended period. Ventura alleged that Combs coerced her and others into unwanted encounters, often in drug-fueled settings that made the situation even more troubling. The lawsuit was settled surprisingly quickly within just 1 day. However, the case took on a new level of gravity when CNN aired hotel security footage showing Combs physically assaulting Ventura. The video, which captured Combs punching, kicking, and throwing Ventura to the floor, was shocking and sparked a wave of outrage. The footage painted a stark and disturbing picture of the abuse Ventura had described. In the wake of the video's release, Combs offered an apology, saying, "I was disgusted when I did it." His statement seemed to acknowledge his actions, but fell short of providing a full explanation or taking substantial responsibility for the harm caused. This incident added another layer of complexity to the already serious allegations against him and further fueled public and legal scrutiny. The indictment makes reference to the attack on Cassie Ventura, though it doesn't name her directly. It alleges that Sean Combs attempted to bribe a hotel security staffer to keep quiet about the incident, suggesting an effort to cover up the assault.
When it comes to your client's credibility, I think people will look at what he said last fall. And it's not just his attorneys. I mean, he pays those attorneys. They're speaking on his behalf. They're the ones calling her claims baseless and ridiculous. And when you read the indictment today, they line up with what she alleged in that lawsuit last fall.
If the claim is that he had unwanted that claim is baseless. And it will be proven to be baseless when we have a trial.
But the claim is obviously the conspiracy, the racketeering. It's much larger than just that, obviously, as you know.
It is, but the government wants it to be. But count 2, which is the count, relates to one person and one person alone. All of this talk of dozens of victims and 50 witnesses, if they had that, if they really had it, it would be in the indictment. It's not in the indictment.
Cassie Ventura was spotted out and about with a noticeable smile on her face for the first time since Sean Diddy Combs' arrest. The singer, known for her hit Me and You, was photographed enjoying a dinner with friends in New York City on Wednesday night, just 2 days after her ex was taken into custody. Ventura, 38, looked chic in an all-black ensemble that included a bucket hat, a simple t-shirt, and belted jeans. She accessorized with hoop earrings and a crossbody bag, exuding a relaxed yet stylish vibe. Her visible cheerfulness stood out in the wake of the recent legal drama, capturing the attention of those following the unfolding events. Ventura was also seen taking a stroll with Sarah Snedeker, who is working on a documentary about Sean Diddy Combs. The sighting came amid the ongoing legal troubles surrounding the music mogul, adding another layer to the unfolding story. Cassie and Diddy had a tumultuous on-again, off-again relationship that spanned from 2007 to 2018. Since their breakup, Cassie has moved forward with her life. She is now happily married to Alex Fine, and the couple shares 2 daughters, Frankie, who is 4 years old, and Sonny, who is 3. Their family life seems to be a bright spot for Cassie amidst the recent storm of public and legal issues involving her former partner. Alex Fine, the 31-year-old personal trainer, stood by his wife, Cassie Ventura, when she made headlines with a bombshell lawsuit against Sean Diddy Combs in November 2023. Throughout the legal battle, Fine has been a supportive presence, backing Cassie as she navigates the serious allegations she brought forward against her former partner. His support has been a crucial part of her public and personal journey during this challenging time. When Cassie Ventura made headlines with her lawsuit against Sean Diddy Combs in November 2023, she took to social media to share her personal experience with her followers. In her statement, Cassie opened up about the profound impact domestic violence had on her, saying it broke her down to someone she never thought she would become. She expressed that, despite significant progress and hard work towards recovery, she will always be dealing with the effects of her past. While Cassie has not yet publicly addressed the multiple other SA allegations against Combs that have surfaced since her lawsuit, her lawyer, Douglas Wigdor, has been vocal about the case. Reacting to the raids on Combs' homes in Miami and Los Angeles in March, Wigdor expressed his hope that Combs would be held responsible for his depraved conduct, emphasizing the seriousness of the allegations and the ongoing pursuit of justice. As Sean Diddy Combs' legal battle continued to unfold, various figures in the music industry have weighed in on his arrest and the charges against him. One notable reaction came from Aubrey O'Day, the former Danity Kane member who has been vocal about her issues with Diddy in the past. On September 16th, O'Day took to her Instagram story to share her thoughts on the situation. She remarked, "The purpose of justice is to provide an ending and allow us the space to create a new chapter." Her post reflected a sense of validation and triumph, suggesting that this development represented a significant moment not just for her, but for women everywhere. "Women never get this. I feel validated," she continued. "Today is a win for women all over the world, not just for me." O'Day's comments underscored a broader sentiment of change and accountability, with the singer expressing hope that this case signifies a shift towards greater justice and recognition for survivors of abuse. Dawn Richard, another former member of Danity Kane, also made her voice heard regarding Sean Diddy Combs' legal troubles. On September 17th, attorney Lisa Bloom issued a statement applauding the grand jury's new indictment against Combs, noting that it closely resembled the federal complaint filed on behalf of Richard just a week earlier. Bloom highlighted the gravity of the situation, pointing out the brutal beating of Combs' girlfriend that was caught on video, and the 8 people, including Richard, who have accused him of abuse in court filings. "This arrest seems long overdue," Bloom asserted, reflecting a sense of vindication and calling attention to the seriousness of the allegations. Dawn Richard had previously filed a lawsuit against Combs, accusing him of manipulating, terrorizing, and SA'd her. In response, Diddy's attorney, Erica Wolf, issued a statement on his behalf. Wolf characterized Richard's actions as a betrayal of their 20-year friendship, suggesting that Richard's motivations were financial rather than rooted in truth. "It's unfortunate that Ms. Richard has cast their 20-year friendship aside to try and get money from him," the statement read in part. "Mr. Combs is confidently standing on truth and looks forward to proving that in court. People online are also loving this." One person wrote, "Diddy got arrested, and I feel as though we're not saying the words enough. The real issue still isn't being spoken about. Diddy was running a huge sex trafficking ring, and it was an open secret in the celebrity community." Another added, "I really hope Diddy's arrest leads to a massive Me Too movement in hip-hop." On September 17th, 50 Cent seemed to take a veiled jab at Sean Diddy Combs with a social media post, sharing a photo of himself with Drew Barrymore. 50 Cent captioned it, "Here I am keeping good company with at the Drew Barrymore show, and I don't have 1,000 bottles of lube at the house." The comment appeared to reference the indictment's mention of the raid on Diddy's homes in March, where Homeland Security reportedly seized more than 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lubricant. The rapper's post seemed to mock the situation, using the seized items as a pointed contrast to his own lifestyle. But we're not surprised that 50 said what he said. He has long been trying to put Puff in his place. Curtis 50 Cent Jackson's outsized beef with his rap game rival is leaping to streaming giant Netflix, who won the bidding war, according to Jackson, for a docuseries his company produced on beleaguered rapper mogul Sean Diddy Combs. Netflix's apparent triumph in the battle for the series, which was produced by Jackson's G-Unit Film and Production Studios, was announced on Jackson's Instagram account in a Tuesday night post, captioned by the In Da Club rapper. "Okay guys, we're all making good television minds, just happens to be be the best, he wrote, in part, alongside a split image of him and Diddy. Netflix wins the bidding war, but if more victims keep coming out, I'm gonna need more episodes. The docu-series will look into allegations leveled against Diddy, many of which stem from producer Rodney Lil Rod Jones's explosive lawsuit accusing Diddy in November of SA trafficking. TMZ indicated that the multi-part docuseries will hit the streamer soon. Other people who worked with him are also happy. Former Bad Boy rapper Shyne Barrow has spoken out following Diddy's arrest earlier this week on racketeering and trafficking charges. Shyne, who serves as the leader of the opposition in the Belize House of Representatives, shared his thoughts regarding his former boss's legal troubles with the media on Wednesday, September 18. When I was an 18-year-old kid just wanting to do nothing other than make my mother proud and make Belize proud and be recognized for my talent and take over the world, he said. I was defending him and he turned around and called witnesses to testify against me. He contributed. He pretty much sent me to prison. That is the context by which you must always describe that relationship. I forgave. I moved on. But let us not pretend as if I was in Miami for Thanksgiving and Christmas.
When I was a 18-year-old kid, just wanting to do nothing other than make my mother proud and make Belize proud and do what all of us want to do, be recognized for our talent and take over the world. I was defending him and he turned around and called witnesses to testify against me, and he contributed. He pretty much sent me to prison. So that is the context by which you must always describe that relationship. Yes, I forgave, I moved on, but let us not pretend as if I was in Miami for Thanksgiving and Christmas.
I spent a birthday with him, man.
I
saw a birthday cake.
I went again to do a charity event for impoverished youth in London. So let us not lose sight of what the cold hard facts are. This was not someone who I vacationed with and who he and I enjoyed this great intimate relationship of brotherhood. This is someone who destroyed my life and who I forgave and who I moved on, and for the better interest of Belize, because he was in a position at that time to give scholarships and to maybe invest. I would not deny attempting to bring the investment to Belize and to bring the contributions to education to Belize, but don't distort it as if he and I were bombali. This is someone that destroyed my life, but do I take any joy or any satisfaction with what he is going through? Absolutely not. I am different than maybe other people. No one needs to fail for me to succeed. No one needs to suffer for me.
At the height of your professional relationship, or thereafter through the reconciliation, when he was an instrumental part of promoting you through Revolt Media, were you aware of these freak-off events, and were you aware of them? Did you have any participation in them?
Oh my goodness, Jules Vasquez. Jules Vasquez.
Were you aware of them?
Jules Vasquez.
Were you aware of the freak-offs?
Sir, I had nothing to do with Sean Combs' personal life, no interaction. That level, everything was strictly on a professional level.
Shyne is referencing the case surrounding a December 1999 NYC nightclub shooting, where he, Diddy, and Jennifer Lopez, the mogul's girlfriend at the time, were all present during. Shyne ended up being charged with assault and sentenced to 10 years behind bars in June 2001. He was ultimately released in 2009 and deported to Belize. While Shyne has forgiven Diddy for their past, earlier this year, he admitted that the 1999 shooting case that sent him to prison still opens wounds when brought up. Katt Williams, never one to shy away from stirring up controversy, has now turned his attention to none other than Beyoncé. In a recent outburst, the comedian issued a warning to the global superstar, telling her to cut the antics and clean up her act before the feds come knocking on her door, just like they did with Diddy. According to Williams, Beyoncé might not be as untouchable as everyone thinks, and if the authorities are digging into the entertainment industry's darker corners, she could be next. Williams didn't hold back, hinting that there's more going on behind the scenes than people realize. He suggested that Beyoncé's pristine public image might be hiding something more sinister. If they can get Diddy, What makes you think they can't get you, he implied, urging her to stop whatever shady dealings he believes are taking place. It's a bold accusation, especially when directed at someone as beloved and powerful as Beyoncé, but Katt Williams has never been one to mince words. The comedian's warning has sparked plenty of chatter online, with fans and critics alike wondering if he knows something the rest of the world doesn't. He didn't go into detail about what Beyoncé's antics might be, but his cryptic remarks have certainly raised eyebrows. Is this just Katt Williams being his usual provocative self, or does he have inside information that could cause trouble for Beyoncé down the road? Williams's comments seem to suggest that no one in the industry is safe if the authorities decide to dig deep enough. He implied that the recent arrest of Diddy could be just the beginning of a larger crackdown in the entertainment world, and even icons like Beyoncé aren't immune. You better believe they're watching, he hinted, urging Beyoncé to take steps before she finds herself in a legal mess like Diddy. Whether there's any truth to Katt Williams's claims, or if it's just more of his provocative style, remains unclear. But one thing's for sure, he's put Beyoncé on notice, and the world is now watching to see if anything comes of it. So, what do you think? Comment down below and let us know. If you liked this video, click the subscribe button and hit the bell icon to be the first to see my next video. I post updates like this every week where I uncover the secrets of your favorite celebrities.